Hey everybody, Scoutcraft here again. Mishmash Monday. Hope you're doing well. Things are a little bit crazy, right? Right? Things are going crazy. Things are going insane in the world, but not everywhere. And I have to tell you, I just spent a day up at the Zagray Antique Machinery Show in Colchester, Connecticut. Had an absolutely fantastic time. And in order to bring you along, I shot some footage of that day, and it was just a perfect day. So join me, won't you? Just sit back, relax, take a load off, and for the next 15 minutes, just get lost and away from the craziness of this world and enjoy a beautiful day in the country looking at stuff we like to look at. The first important thing you have to remember when you go to Zagray is always look for Bob. He's on the upper corner of the area. He has the most inexpensive tools of the whole show. He starts off at like 50 cents a tool or so, depending on the tool. But halfway through the day, he drops it down to 25 cents. So everything you'll see in the next couple tables winds up to be 25 cents each. You can fill up a bucket, and it'll cost you maybe $4. It's amazing. Bob's great. Got other stuff to do.
You know what? In that case, you don't do that. You don't do your other stuff.
Yeah. That's what I've been doing. I've been putting off everything. Got to paint my house. I got to...
Screw that.
All this other stuff that's been on the... Look at these fantastic early cone-shaped milk containers. Goat milk. Good claim, but I'll tell you, the best thing is you try that wax paper, ball up a little ball of it. And here we have an absolutely beautiful hit and miss engine that's so quiet and smooth. With the winch. Look at this. And it comes with the lanterns every year, but he's always got nice. Look at that John Deere. This is something my buddy T-Rex would build. He loves these kind of vehicles. Boy, I would love to take a spin on this thing. It looks like so much fun to drive. This week. Oh, okay. Check out this vintage hop rod. How cool is this?
Al, did you see the barrel on the...
At least this guy's got him priced.
I like that when they're priced. That is nice. Believe it or not, when I was a kid, I took a home taxidermy course, and just look at the beautiful job they did on this boar. I have a thing.
sorry.
That's okay.
How you doing today?
Does that run?
No.
Oh,
I
it's-
was gonna rebuild the engine. I just haven't got to it, so I figured we'd drag you here. And see
Oh,
what
that's
happens.
beautiful.
I know. Bennett was in my.
I see a lot of them on YouTube. They're doing that over.
Yeah.
I guess the Honda runs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You can't kill them. This beautiful aluminum boat was $500 with the trailer and 2 extra tires. These old John Deere wheels are amazing, but look at the divots they make in the hard-packed road. Now, this is Brian. Remember Brian's face because Brian is a good friend of the show and he has probably the best tool selection of any shows that you go to at the best prices. I mean, he has boxes of dollar tools and you name it. Just you could find anything you want there.
It's about 20 minutes from here towards Hartford. This was going back 15, 18 years ago. This team decided that they needed top machinists out of Portsmouth to give them a job. Well, teach these kids how to run that road.
This made me crazy. One of the best buys of the show, a Ford 1953 Jubilee for $1,600. Here we have a beautiful Ford Model A Doodlebug for $1,950. Here is an extremely rare item, and that is an antique Stagecoach cash box.
Must come out of there.
Yeah, both sides.
Yeah, wow. Oh, so all of this comes out and then goes underneath.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's,
It's not as heavy as you think.
it's not like quarter-inch.
Your Christmas candle in the shed, the tall one. Yeah. That's one in the bucket.
Now, a longtime friend of the show, Scott, came down to visit, and I'll tell you something. Scott did a beautiful job. His father had bought a dynamite power workshop back in the day, and Scott refurbished it, built a special box for it. He's into woodworking, you could tell. And look at the beautiful job he did refurbishing this drill and all the accessories. Like this one here, it has a jointer, and you can see here it's got a planer, same thing turned upside down. Here it has a table saw that comes with it. He has all these accessories that he redid. They all work fine. This one here is a gear reduction unit, and over here you see the orbital sander that it came with. Over here you have the jigsaw. The dynamite drill accessories and package was just phenomenal for Miller's Falls. So special thanks out to Scott for bringing that down to show us. Okay, wasn't that absolutely fantastic? Now, I told you I stopped buying tools. However, there were some purchases that I just couldn't pass by just because it's me. So what do you say we take a look at what I picked up? Okay, my first purchase, because I did stop buying tools, but these are actually projects for the show. And what this one here, this is a vintage Stanley 624A. You could see it here written on the handle here of this drill, and it's a regular egg beater style drill, we call these. It's got the dual gears. This was actually a very nice design of these drills, and what you do is when you pick it up and you turn it, you listen to how smooth it is. Now, this hasn't been oiled by me, and it's just extremely smooth. It's got the this is kind of desirable, having the cap in the back, and it's not broken or chipped too bad, where it still works. Again, I don't know if this is the original paint. This kind of all one color, you know, this kind of maroon, but interesting. $4 drill. I thought you would like to see. We can always have some fun with this, paint it up in different colors and have some fun with this. My next purchase was this beautiful Ranger 55 by Boston pencil sharpener. And this one here, these have become quite collectible. You know, the prices on these will go up. You can see you can mount it flat here, or by hanging this vertically, you can mount it onto a wall. There's two holes here that screws will go through here and put onto the wall. It's smooth. You can see it has the standard Boston dual cone apparatus that sharpens it. You know, these are kind of bulletproof. And another interesting feature that this had, if you notice here, it says what kind of point you want. If you want a blunt, medium, or fine point, you would just move this over here and you can adjust the point. So sharpener, I paid $10, which is a lot of money, but like I said, they go for quite a bit nowadays. Next up, I picked up these two homemade or machinist made. I hate to use the word machinist, but they're interesting because they're homemade screwdrivers. Okay, this one's supposed to be a Phillips. I knew right away. I was like, even though it has the right profile in the tip, I was like, there's no way this could work because the reliefs are different. And so I came home, I got a larger screw, one of the larger Phillips I could find, and sure enough, you know, it just doesn't have the right geometry. I've experimented with making a Phillips. I can do it. And I knew this one just had 4. Interesting, though. Somebody was fooling around in the shop, and they didn't finish the back, you could see, but the knurling was nice. I said, we can make a tool out of this, or finish or something. Here was another one, a homemade screwdriver. And this one here is a better attempt at it because it's a flat-bladed. You can see here, not bad. I can definitely make this into something nice if you'd like to see that. Next up, we met so many nice people at the show. You know, we met up with our buddy Ken, and Rick, and Scott, and Brian, and you know, I went there with obviously my girlfriend. So we had just a nice meeting and group of people walking around talking about stuff. And I wound up, Ken wanted, actually, he's been looking for one of those Sunbeam hedge trimmers that we did a couple weeks ago. So Ken has that now. He'll enjoy that. But this here, we saw this and I said, well, you know, this would be a fun little replacement. This is a Black & Decker. I always like this style. And the funny thing is, I said, does it work? He says, yeah, it works. You know, we test everything out. The cord, obviously, you can always tell. You never see an electric hedge trim without some kind of botched up cord, right? It's like an electric motor. Let's plug it in, see if it works. I believe it. Now, what's funny, what I normally do is when I'm going to test something I never tried before, either I'll put it in the dim bulb tester, or if I plug it, I put on a rubber glove. Even though this says not for electrical protection, rubber will protect you if there's some kind of short or something. You'll tell right away, but You know, let's just try it out. Yeah, these things always work. So I'll just give it a lubrication and stuff and put that one back in service. An old Black & Decker. Nice, huh? Now, that hedge trim was $10, and so was this motor. That was the, I bought this motor, and everything I bought, it was just about $10. Let me tell you another thing, a funny story about this. We were at the furthest section away from the parking lot at the very rear of the show. And I said to Rick, I said, you know, Rick, this is usually where I buy my heaviest item. Every time I'm the farthest away from the car. Last time I bought a Vice, I was like 1.5 miles away. I had to lug it. So we were laughing, and sure enough, the guy has this Dunlop. And I said, oh, man. I said, okay, I'll buy it. $10, but I had to lug this back. Thank goodness we got on that little tram, that little hayride, and it took us back, so I didn't have to carry it. But this is a Sears. Usually put out the Dunlop brand, and this is just a regular motor. You know, again, you spin it, you feel the bearings feel pretty good. He says it might need a plug. I don't know. That plug looks pretty salvageable to me. Maybe a little electrical tape, right? What do you say we try? Do you think this will work? Okay, there we go. Temporary, good enough for government work. Temporary repair. We will plug this in, and I will get my rubber glove, because you can't use the dim bulb tester on this. It draws too much on startup. And this switch looks a little wonky, but we'll try it out. What do you think? You think it's going to work? Okay, I oiled the bearings. I have my rubber glove on. I have my stick to bite down on. Okay, now let's try it out. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Excellent, huh? Runs like a top. Clean this up. We'll put it back in service. Put a new cord on it. Bob's your uncle. Okay, last up, probably my favorite purchase of the day. Some of you are laughing right now. I saw this hank of manila rope sitting on. Look at this. Now, I've bought rope. I'm one of the few guys that can't get enough rope, and I'm sure there's at least a half a dozen of you out there that are shaking their head going, I'm the same way. I love rope. When I find a good hank of rope like this, and I saw it, and I, you know, some guys know what that's not cheap stuff. Anyway, this was $10. Like I said, everything else was, and I was so happy to get this. Just needs whipping on the ends, you know, which they always do. We'll do that. And but look how clean this is. Have you ever seen manila rope this clean? Usually it's all oiled up, and I got to wash it and everything. This is just beautiful. And the smell, you know what it smells like. This is one of my favorite purchases. Let's whip up these ends real quick, do a proper job. Now, there are many types of whippings that you could do. This here is known as the lazy man whipping, when you just tie a knot around it. Well, it'll stop it from unraveling, but it's kind of unsightly. Let me show you a couple of other whippings. One very common type of whipping that you'll see often is one made with tape, and this is a tape whipping. And basically, the reason you see this so often is because when you go to buy a hank of rope somewhere, most often the storekeeper will wrap the tape around there just so that it won't unravel on you or also on the store. Here's a nice pair of Handy Cut by Sears. I love these for cutting rope. And here you see we wrapped some electrical tape around here. We're going to cut it off. And when you do, it stops both the store's end and the customer's end from unraveling. That's just a quick whipping with tape, and you could see that's quick and easy. Now, the customer gets a piece of rope like this, and they think that's a proper whipping because it came like that from the store. But basically, it's just, like I said, it's a temporary whipping. And unfortunately, these do unravel. For some reason, the electrical tape just never holds up on manila rope. Now, here we did a proper whip here, and what I like to do is take about 1/8 of an inch past the whip and cut it off, and then after this, I will dip the ends in wood glue, and I'll show you what that looks like next episode. Okay, so in closing, I'll show you the finished rope on Wednesday, and what you think of my purchases, what was your favorite, and hope you enjoyed today's episode. I really did, and I hope you have a great day. We'll see you again on Wednesday. Take care now. Bye-bye. Take